Are you getting paid what you're worth? Perhaps a confronting question, what am I worth? In the consulting and online business world, there's a lot of conversation about getting paid what you're worth, and I didn't hear a lot of that advice or context when I was in the corporate world. By the end of this video, I'm going to leave you with 4 suggestions of people who you can work with who can help you to ensure that you're getting the best compensation for the effort you're investing into your career. For the best strategies to take your career to the next level, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you can be notified when I post new content weekly, and so you can help me let the algorithm know to show my content to more corporate women who are interested in taking their careers further. I'm Christina dellisanti-Miller of Full Potential Realize, and I'm a career transition coach. That means I help women take their career from point A to point B. That could mean getting a promotion, taking on more responsibility, taking on leading a team, or increasing their compensation. So if you're totally in the dark about optimizing your compensation like I was when I was in corporate, there's some people who can help you and provide the context that you'll need, because this is a delicate subject and you need to treat it as such. You can't just go barging around like a bull in a china closet. That will not be well received and will not get you the results that you're looking for. First person is the kind senior. Look in your organization for a kind senior leader. There's got to be at least one of them. Could be a man or a woman. The one I spoke to actually was a man, and I would have never asked these questions for myself, didn't have the awareness, but interviewing him on behalf of women in my not-for-profit and senior women that I was coaching, I was at ease asking, how are you supposed to respond to your bonus? What are the ways to make sure that you work with your manager to get the best bonus? When are the timings where you should mention it or not mention it? All that good stuff. So I would invite you to make a list of questions about how compensation works and get the ear of somebody who you trust, that's kind, that understands the inner workings of your organization and what are the taboos and what are the things to do and not do. When I went into the banking industry, I had come from aerospace where there was no bonus. So I was just like, oh my God, we get more money at the end of the year. I couldn't understand why people were saying like, oh, I didn't get enough. I was just like, oh my God, you got more money. But there's a whole ritual and there's a whole culture around it, and it's just somebody who can tell you how that actually works, especially if you're new to the industry. Second person who can help you to ensure you're getting the most bang for your buck in terms of compensation is a compensation person in your company. So in human resources, there's usually at least 1 or 2 people, or even sometimes a whole team of people who figure out what everybody should be getting compensated and tracking what the company is paying vis-a-vis the market. And that person, if you have a great conversation with them, can help you because they have a database of what your job is, what the skills and experiences and responsibilities are, and how much somebody doing that job should get paid. So you can understand if you are in the right range. Given, some companies pay at the top of the range, some pay at 75%, some pay in the middle, some even pay lower. So there's a range where you're going to be able to get paid at the company you're working at. That compensation person can help you figure out what is the pay that makes most sense for the role that you're playing using a data set that is tagged against your industry or against your function. Third person to help you optimize your compensation and help you understand what you could and should be making is a recruiter, an external recruiter who is looking to fill jobs in other companies. And whether or not you plan to stay in your company, it's always good to cultivate relationships with recruiters. And if you're not ready to move, to give them other names of people who might be interested, because then when you are interested, it's a warm relationship and you're not just ringing them up like, hello, you never heard of me, but can you help me now, right? So one of the things a recruiter can do is to help you understand where you should be getting paid, where you are in the range for that role given your experience and your accomplishments. The other thing is maybe sometimes you go on a interview and you see if you can land another job with a better pay, because that gives you some leverage to negotiate with your employer. Now, sometimes it's dangerous because your employer might say, go ahead, go, I'm not going to increase your pay. And then if you didn't really want to leave, then you're caught out. So, be careful. And also you don't want to be found out to be looking for other positions, but it could also hurt you depending on your standing in the company and the culture of the company. So this is something to be done delicately, but it relates to the fourth example of somebody who can help you, because I have a story about somebody that used a recruiter to up her compensation. So the fourth type of person who can help you is a colleague who is empowered in the area of compensation. Because many of us, especially women, we're taught don't be ambitious, or don't be too greedy, or don't be too assertive or aggressive. And so there's a lot of cultural boundaries around how far to push this. In any case, this woman was an investment banker, went to interview with some other firms, got an offer, didn't want to leave her firm, but went back to her manager and said, this is the offer that I got. And she was so disappointed because her manager wasn't paying her at scale, and she didn't realize it until she got that other offer and went exploring, and she felt betrayed. And she even said to her manager, if you want to keep me, you're going to have to give me 20% more than that, which he did. And then she got promoted after that. So I know that's a delicate situation, and she handles it extremely courageously and in a bold way, and it worked out for her. And maybe she was ready to go to that other firm if they weren't going to match it or give her what she wanted. But having that confidence that I have options gave her the room to negotiate where she maybe didn't feel that before she had those alternatives. So I'm curious, what questions do you have about expanding your compensation? What are the situations that feel fraught for you? Leave me a note in the comments, because I want to explore this topic further, and I'm going to start interviewing some compensation and HR professionals and managers who deal with compensation, so I want to answer your questions. Handling compensation conversations with your manager, with your sponsor, with your mentor, with grace and ease is one way to present yourself as high potential, high performing, and promotable. For more ideas on actions you can take to really make sure you're getting the most out of the effort you put into your career, grab my free cheat sheet at fullpotentialrealized.com/positioning. Check out these next videos. I'll give you a playlist on strategies of how you can take your career to the next level. And please give this video a like, give it a comment, share it with your friends, share it on social media, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Thanks, I look forward to seeing you next time.